Go watch Under the Power. It's worth it. Super quick wrap-up thoughts on Under the Power, purely because I mentioned it in the other video. I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars, but that's only, like I say in the other video, if you take certain characters and their story out of it. There was the secondary romance in this one, and I could not stand it from start to finish. Not because the actors did a bad job or anything, but because I literally just cannot stand characters like that, and I can't stand the whole situation and the whole way that their whole story was handled. I just couldn't from start to finish. Every time I see them, bleh, skip. Did not watch more than like a couple of seconds to make sure they weren't talking about something important if it was only them on the screen. No. Cannot do it. Won't do it. You'll have to pay me to go and watch that. There was also the one other character in that little picture that I showed in the other video. I said, I hate that guy. Don't get me started on him. Yeah, he's one of those ones, like, there's 2 characters in this drama. One, the girl in the couple, secondary romance couple, and the one guy. When they were introduced at this level. For the majority of the drama, like, she was introduced up here, turned out she was actually down here, and she stayed down here through the entire drama. I cannot stand it when characters are introduced as something, and then they never, ever live up to what they were introduced as. Like, then don't introduce them that way. You tell me that this is what she's capable of, and this is what she's done in the past, and she never proves it. I cannot for the life of me believe what you told me about her. And then there's him, who is introduced at this level. For the majority of the drama, he was down here. Then all of a sudden, at the end, he pulls out this again, and then he kind of drops to about here and stays here. Literally, when he came into it, he had this, like, really epic fight, and, there was this really cool contraption thing that was introduced way later in the show. It's confirmed that he's the one that made it, and he makes it again, basically, and all of this stuff, and you're like, why couldn't you have been through that throughout the entire show? But what made me really hate him was his fixation on the main girl. Like, literal, you could not get more self-absorbed than he is. Usually I say self-centered. Him is literally self-absorbed. In the drama, they're like, oh, he's just naive. I'm like, no, this is not naive. I've seen naive. This is not naive. This is literally so self-absorbed that he's completely blinded to absolutely everything but himself. It doesn't matter how blatantly people tell him, and that's the problem. The main girl told him flat out, very, very blatantly, back off. She literally physically hit him more than once to make him let go of her, etc. He claims that he loves her so much, and yet there was one time in the entire drama where he actually listened to what she said. She told him over and over and over again, so many times she told him to do something or not to do something. Every single time he did the exact opposite. And there's one point in the drama where he's like, haven't I been good to you this whole time? No, you haven't. You didn't listen to a word she said. You claim that you love her so much, and yet you never listen to her. And in fact, he not only doesn't listen to her, he actually creates problems that put people, her specifically, as well as other people, in danger more than once, because he won't listen to her, and he keeps trying to show off, and he keeps trying to prove himself so cool, and yet he's literally nothing but the most immature brat in the entire universe. I mean, like, childish in, like, a fun-loving, carefree kind of way when you're an adult is one thing. Absolutely immature, self-absorbed, literally throwing temper tantrums like a 3-year-old when things don't go your way. That is what he is. I cannot stand him. Near the end of the drama, he actually got okay, and like, when he got to the point where he actually said, we have to go and save Lu Yi, I'm like, okay, now I like you. But that was it. 55 episodes, and when he was first introduced, I'm like, he's pretty cool. And then it turned out he wasn't anything like what they introduced him as for most of the drama. So out of 55 episodes, I hated his guts for about 50 of them. So, you take all of those characters out of it. The main 2 characters, Lu Yi and Jinjia, them, I absolutely loved them. And then there was 2, 3, three-ish other characters that I really liked as well because they were mature adults. I did give it 5 out of 5 stars. But there was one thing, and this is where there's now spoilers, that I have to... They do this every single time, and I am so sick and tired of them doing this. Okay, to have something get in the way of the couple being a couple, I mean, you know, you add things to, like, continue conflict and make it difficult and whatever, fine. But they always do it in a way that just doesn't make sense and makes me absolutely furious. They constantly play on the trust card. In this drama, what broke the couple up, Lu Yi and Jinja, in episode... or like right near the end, like episode 51, or was it 48? It was like super close to the end of the drama, and they finally pulled it out. I'm like, I thought we were safe. I thought they weren't going to play this. I figured, nope, I was wrong. They had to pull that one out again. The excuse that they came up with, for once, it actually made kind of enough sense that I kind of get it, that it would throw a massive wrench between them. The problem is, he told a blatant lie that contradicts everything he said and done throughout the entire drama once he started to admit that he actually likes her. Like, he ended up, it made it look like, the way he presented himself, he made it look like he reverted back to what he was at the very beginning of the drama. But the thing is, it's a blatant lie. And the problem is that by this point, Jinja should have known that. She has been through so much, like, it's unbelievable what those two went through, like, literally just about dying for each other more than once, in, like, and that's one of the things that actually made me like Jinja and him. Usually in the dramas they're all like, oh, the drama, I'm just gonna die for them, like, you know, in Love a Lifetime, what Hua did twice. In this one, when she almost dies for him, she's, like, absolutely serious about this. She thinks hard before she does it. And then when she does it, then it's like she's crying and she's like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I want to save his life, but I don't want to die. There's so many things I still want to do. And she's, like, torn and upset and all this stuff. I'm like, they actually handled that really well. They actually kept the weight of what's actually happening, and it wasn't some honor thing, I'm just gonna die because it's... And that's a comment that he made at one point too that I loved. He's like, because it's prevalent in all of the Asian ones, some of them worse than others, where it's like their honor is more important than life and all this stuff. Like, it drives me insane. They've got such a twisted view on it, but it's like definitely an Asian culture thing. It's some Asian cultures more than others, but at the moment I'm trying to keep this short. But he said in this one, like, honor is a trap that you set for yourself, and what he actually values is, like, the friendship that you find in like, comrades and all of that kind of stuff. It's, like, the connection with the people and, like, the bond and stuff. And I'm like, that's actually contrary to most characters in most of these dramas and stuff, and it was so cool. And you could see it, and see that's what affects later on a choice that he makes at the very end of the drama, and that's why I wasn't really mad at him there. And that's what actually, for once, like, usually in these kind of situations, I'm so mad at them that I'm like, you guys got yourself into this situation, I don't feel sorry for you, this is just stupid, it makes me want to skip it, it makes me mad, because of your idiocy is what you got you into this situation. But in this one, I actually almost cried. when she comes to see him in the jail, when he's in the jail, I actually almost cried. I'm like, I'm shocked. This is not the reaction I usually have in these situations, but I almost cried. And the thing is, I was like, he was being stupid, but at the same time, there again, it's not like he actually wanted to die. He literally, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna honorably kill myself because that's the only way to, like, make up to you. No, he actually legitimately believed this is literally the only thing he could possibly do, because the weight of what she was owed, and he figured that he was responsible for that weight, and one of the other characters told him flat out that he's responsible for that weight. So it's not just in his own head. The attitude of this other person put the weight on him as well. And he, like, yeah, like, honestly believed this is the only thing I can do to actually, to make up for that. But he didn't want to die either, and, like, he's upset. He wants to live with Jinja for the rest of his life. He loves her. He wants to stay with her, but he figures doing this, and, like, it made me almost start cry. But what made me furious at Jinja is that they did it as typical. It's not necessarily that she sort of fell for it. The only thing I can figure is that she literally trusted him so much that she didn't think that he would ever lie to her. So when he did lie, she took it as truth because he would never lie to her. So if he's saying something, it must be the truth. And the whole reasoning for why he claimed that they had to break up and stuff, it is pretty serious, but it's completely contradictory to everything he had done and said before. So my problem is, for her to be unsure, for her to be in doubt, for her to be highly, highly, highly confused. Yes. The big, fat, blatant no that makes me absolutely furious at her is that she wasn't just confused or in doubt or whatever. She fell for the lie, hook, line, and sinker. She completely 100% believed his lie and crumbled to pieces. Did not even for a shadow of a doubt consider that he was possibly lying or that he was actually possibly setting something up because something else was actually going on here. She didn't even consider it. She just hook, line, and sinker believed him when he told the exact opposite, when he said the exact opposite to everything he's been saying and doing for the last how many episodes? Months on end. I think it's been like a year-ish. Everything they went through the show, I think it was about a year-ish. And everything they've gone through, and like there was so many times where she's like, the look on her face was absolutely adorable when he said something, and she's like, then good enough for me. If you say it, then I believe it, and it's the truth, and like, it doesn't matter what anybody else says, and it's like, it's so cute. They were so cute. And then she believes him there. There's not even a shadow of a doubt in her brain that he's like completely breaking up with her, and it's because of like, etc., etc. And I'm like, your trust in him is broken that easily. This is disgusting. It seriously, thoroughly disgusts me when the trust is broken that easily. And maybe, because of the way everything is set up, maybe I would have taken it and said, okay, like I said, it's because she thoroughly believes that he'd never lie to her. It is a big deal what's going on, etc. Maybe I could take it. Maybe. If this drama hadn't made a point of saying that like the whole second half of it, everything horrible that happens in this drama is because the Emperor trusts this one family, and it doesn't matter what kind of evidence that you bring to prove that they are evil people and doing terrible things, he won't believe it because he trusts them too much. So the trust of the Emperor cannot be broken in this family, and yet Jinja's trust in Liu Yi is broken that fast and easy. When she loves him so much that she almost died for him how many times, and he's almost died for her how many times, the trust is skyrocketed, and she believes him when they say they have to break up and there's no way he could possibly be with her because of what... That made me so mad. I am so sick and tired of shows bringing that in. At least if she had had a slight shadow of a doubt. At least if she'd been like, no, there must be something else going on. I can't believe he said that. I can't believe we have to break up. I'm actually heartbroken and crushed. I have to forget him, but there must be something else going on. At least if she had done that, it would have been believable and true and like whatever. But no, she fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Absolutely 100% convinced that he's telling the truth right now. And I'm like, he's lying through his teeth and his nose is like 4 feet long. And yet you believe him. I'm so sick of shows doing that. But then, like I say, finally, after he does this, she finally goes, oh, duh, he's been setting this up from the start. I'm like, yeah, like I said way back there, if you've been like, wait, what? But no, idiot. And now he's at the point where he's almost gonna die for you again. And this is when you realize it just barely through the skin of your teeth save him somehow. But like I said, like I was like, oh, Liu Yi. It almost made me cry when she went and saw him in the prison, and the look on his face and the weight of everything happening and the genuineness. How genuine he was being. It almost made me cry. And like all of the other characters saw it faster. It's just Jinja, the moronic idiot. So anyway, this is, again, longer than I meant it to be. But yeah, that was my final thoughts on Under the Power. You should go and watch it. It's a really good drama. If you happen to like that secondary couple, good for you. I absolutely can't stand it. Didn't watch it. Don't like it. Don't care for it. Absolutely hate it. But Liu Yi and Jinja were beyond cute. They were so cute and they were so cool. They're the exact opposite of everything in Love a Lifetime. But anyway, go watch Under the Power. It's worth it.